Ninja Gaiden for the Xbox was released back in 2004 to incredible reviews, and a year later, a reworked version titled Ninja Gaiden Black received even greater praise from the gaming community. Beautiful visuals were matched with tight gameplay, excellent music, and a dedication to being difficult but approachable by game director Tomonobu Itagaki. 15 years later, how does this classic hold up, gameplay-wise and visually, on an Xbox Series X? You are Ryu Hayabusa in a prequel to the 1980s Ninja Gaiden series. Ryu had recently returned to fame in 1996 as a combatant in the excellent Dead or Alive fighting game series. Connecting the worlds of the original Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive sees this title set 2 years before the events of Dead or Alive 1. You are a member of the Hayabusa clan, and you start the game on a visit to your Uncle Murai, leader of the Shadow Clan. To visit him, of course, you must kill many of his ninjas in a delightful dance of blades that leads to many heads and limbs being removed from their former bodies. One other Dead or Alive character that joins you is the ninja Ayane. She serves as the tutorial giver, throwing ninja darts with beautifully typewritten notes. Thanks to a massive resolution boost and an original 60 frames per second target, Ninja Gaiden Black looks spectacular on either an Xbox Series X, One X, or the Series S. I mean, all of them look so good. The difference in quality between the pre-rendered cutscenes or menu screens versus the gameplay is as drastic as I can remember seeing in any of these backward-compatible Xbox titles. The texture work is top quality, and the move to an unimaginable for the time resolution helps showcase the love and care that was put into every single model. Animations flow smoothly, yet you rarely feel out of control. Response time during combat is quick, with your block being instantaneous 99.9% of the time. One area Ninja Gaiden Black tried to improve things over the original was the camera. Normally, you pretty much didn't have much control over it, as using the right stick would go to a first-person mode. In Black, you can click in the stick, you get a little direct control over it. It still isn't great. You'll mainly be using the right trigger. It'll be your best friend, as it is used to face the camera in whatever direction Ryu is looking at instantly, and you're gonna have to do this a lot. After an hour or two, I was used to it, and while it's not great, it's certainly not worth avoiding the game over. Controls are basic in comparison to some 3D action titles. X is your light attack, Y is heavy, B is ranged, and A jumps. Left trigger is your block if you hold it, and a dodge if you tap a direction while holding it. Most of the game's difficulty then comes in your reaction times. The balance isn't perfect, as there are certain moves like the flying swallow, which you get later in the game and is stupidly powerful, or you can run straight at a wall, go right up it, jump off, then press X or Y, do an incredibly powerful attack, and just do that over and over and kill half the game's enemies. The dumber ones. In Black, they did add in a few flying variants that counter both of these moves decently well. You have a series of upgrades, weapon unlocks, and use items to keep you busy as you search throughout the game world during your time in the campaign, which will be roughly 15 to 20 hours. I ended up sticking with and upgrading the sword, most of all, the starter weapon. There are some other weapons you will find that are unbelievably fun. They feel different enough, and they warrant experimenting with and being used for certain situations. The story in this game can really go places. If you've only ever played the first few of the game's 16 chapters, you would think it was set in a far in the past version of Japan, but it is 100% set in the DOA current times world, and you visit some crazy locales that I won't spoil here. As the game is only $10 on the Xbox through backwards compatibility, and soon to be released in, well, for me, an inferior Sigma version as a next-gen collection, I think it's worth experiencing the craziness for yourself without having much of it spoiled if you don't already know what's going on. Speaking of Sigma, it certainly isn't as good, and if you don't have an Xbox One or Series console, it will be your easiest way to play the game. It adds in a few gameplay segments that are not fondly remembered and removes the over-the-top gore of the original. Overall, I'd say stick with Black if you can. For me, I just found it better than Sigma in every major way. The music in the game is what you would think of for a Dead or Alive universe game, and it's pretty well done. Mostly synth, can be a bit goofy at times, but there are a few real boppers in it. Voice work in the original Japanese is excellent, and the English, while not as great, isn't the worst I've ever heard, especially for that early 2000s time frame. In conclusion, I absolutely adored my time going back to this game. I can see why it holds such a high Metacritic score, as even 15 years later, it holds up as a true classic. There have been quite a few original Xbox and PlayStation 2 era games I have gone back to that did not hold up like this. Ninja Gaiden Black is hard, fair, gorgeous, and a ton of fun. Since it is so old, I won't give it a score, but it's fair to say that this one gets 2 thumbs way the hell up. You would do well to plunk down $10 to experience one of the better 3D action games ever made. Thanks everyone for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and if you do subscribe, please hit that little bell and you'll be pleasantly surprised at how often we post. Thanks, and we'll see you here next time at XboxEra.